guys, so we are back with part 2 of my eyeshadow palette declutter. If you missed part 1, I will link that down below. Basically, I got rid of so many palettes in that first declutter. I think you guys were shocked by the amount of palettes that I actually did get rid of, but I wasn't messing around. I knew I had to declutter, especially in that last section. Today, these palettes here are more like my most used kind of palettes, or like a section of my most used palettes. So I am going to share with you guys this section, and then once I take these away, I will probably have another section to share with you guys. So this is what has been living basically on top of my Alex drawer, and I feel like it's gotten so crazy. It's like a pile of eyeshadow palettes, and I've just been stacking them on top of each other as I got them, and it's so messy. So I want to share this with you guys and then see what I can declutter today and then organize everything. So let's get into it. If you guys are excited about declutters, then make sure you subscribe to my channel because I have tons more coming. I know eyeshadow palettes, I think, are your guys' favorite. So if you are excited, then give this video a thumbs up and let's get on into the eyeshadow palette declutter. So a lot of these are new or newer, so I don't know how many I'm going to get rid of. So let's just dive on in. This is one of my newest palettes, the Lime Crime Venus 3. I actually got this in my last BoxyCharm. If you guys saw my BoxyCharm video, I love this palette. I actually really like the Lime Crime formula, and there are some pressed pigments in here, and when I wore this eyeshadow palette, I loved my eye look. I like the purples and this shade right here, these two mattes. I think it's so pretty, so we are definitely keeping this, and actually this is my only Lime Crime palette, I think, in my whole collection. I feel like I talk about this eyeshadow palette a lot on my channel. It is definitely a palette that I feel like does not get enough love, and I think it is so good. It's the Pacifica Animal Magic eyeshadow palette, and I love the colors in here. You can see it is definitely well loved. There are really pretty shimmers in here, like neutral shimmers. I love, of course, the matte shade, and you get so many like brown tones. It's just a good neutral everyday palette to have, and I love Pacifica's eyeshadow formula. Definitely slept on. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this. And then on the back, they just have like all these little animals that are the names of the shadows. So like swan, bunny, unicorn. I did a whole video trying out Pacifica makeup products. So again, if you guys want to see that, I will link up below. But this palette is at Ulta, so definitely check it out. I think you guys would really love it. I use this on a weekly basis for sure. This one is also new. I also got this in BoxyCharm. You guys probably know this, the Natasha Denona Peak eyeshadow palette. Absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. I think it is awesome. It is my only Natasha Denona eyeshadow. I think they are super creamy, and I just love the entire color scheme in here. I think it is a very flattering, definitely a key. Two eyeshadow palettes here from Pop. I like Pop Beauty's products. They're available at CVS, but their eyeshadow formula is not my favorite. I find it to be a little bit dry and powdery. The shade selection is super cute. This one, I like the tones. I just think they're really fun. And you even have some like little marble shades in here. This one, I didn't love this one. This one broke, by the way, in transit. So I think what I'm gonna do is, what is this one called? This one's called Dusk Deluxe Light Show Palette, and this one is called Fire Fit. So, newer to my collection, but I feel like I should only probably keep one. So I think the one I'll keep is this one, which is the Light Show palette, and we will declutter Fire Fit. I love how I still have the clearance sticker on here. This is a favorite, Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air. I do think they discontinued this, which is so sad because I love this. It is a dupe for Modern Renaissance, which is one of my favorite palettes. So to have something that is so super affordable, and I'm sure I can still find this online somewhere for you guys, is amazing. So I have two transition shades. I have this shade, which I love, and I just love the way my eyeshadow looks when I use this. So definitely a favorite. One of the new Wet n Wild palettes. This is in Heart and Soul. Also love this color combo. Kind of reminds me of Rosé in the Air. These shadows are so good. I love the formula. I think they perform really well. And the price point is also really nice on these two. I like the ratio of matte to shimmers. So we are definitely keeping this one because it is new to my collection and I really like it. Here's a palette that I've surprisingly been using a lot. This is the Buxom White Russian eyeshadow palette, and it also has blushes in here. So it is kind of like a dual purpose palette, and I do love the Wanderlust formula. Did a whole video on this if you guys want to check that out. It's just like a very basic eyeshadow palette. So good for like every day. I use this a ton. I find myself reaching for this just because I know that it's basic and it looks good on the daily. So I mean, I think it's great. I do think it is a bit overpriced for what it is. Definitely now with everything with like ColourPop, it's kind of hard to like pay up for an eyeshadow palette. 2 palettes from this brand, which is so underrated, Hip Dot. So I got one of these in PR and one of these in BoxyCharm. I love these. So this first one is Zion, which is so pretty. You guys, look at these colors. I live for these colors. Oh my goodness, I want to use this palette now. I just feel so happy when I look at these tones. And then this one is a gorgeous. I wore this in a video. It was like a while ago, but you guys loved it when I wore it, and I think these are absolutely gorgeous. I don't have enough blues and greens in my collection, and you guys saw in my last video I decluttered that blue palette from that old brand Alter Ego. I feel like this is a good blue-green palette to have in my collection. I love the shimmers and the mattes, and I just think it is so unique. So definitely check out this brand, Hip Dot. They are an awesome eyeshadow palette brand, and I love the color. Next up, we have one of the Pixie Pretties collabs. This is Pixie and Heart Defensor. I love Heart. I've met her in person. She's so sweet. I really like the Pixie formula. I think it is nice. I have a lot of their palettes. You guys will see as we go through these declutters, but I really like the color scheme on these because it's just like really nice and warm. There are some pretty shimmers in here, so I do want to hang on to this one even though it was a limited edition. One of my absolute favorite palettes. I use this basically every week. It is kind of broken, but the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette, I'm sure you guys have heard of this one. It is very popular and for good reason. I lost one in here, which is sad, but it's nice that you can take these out. This is just the perfect neutral color scheme, and the shimmers are so pretty. I love wearing those with a setting spray on my eye. I love this palette. I think it's amazing. Definitely one of my top favorites. I don't have too many ColourPop shadows. I know that's very surprising for a lot of people, or will be surprising, but this one makes me want to get a lot more. We have the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette, which I think is the most beautiful packaging in my collection. Just for this reason, I don't think I ever want to let this palette go. It is absolutely gorgeous. I keep this out on my Alex draw because it is so pretty. It has these really pretty stones up here, hence the name. And here is the colors on the inside. So I don't use this palette honestly too much. I just kind of feel like these shimmers are a little bit of a hassle. I do use the matte shades in here sometimes. Really pretty though. I do think the shimmers are really fun. How stunning. I mean, this is one of the most gorgeous palettes I've ever seen. Okay, next up, I lost the cover to this, which is so sad. It just broke off. This is the Revolution and Soph eyeshadow palette, 24 makeup pigments. I really like this palette. Is it my favorite formula? No, definitely not. It is more on the powdery side, and you do kind of have to work with it a bit. But I do think some of the shades in here are really nice. I picked this up at, I think it was TJ Maxx or Marshall's, one of those, and it was like $2 or $3. I got it on like extreme clearance, and it was completely sealed, so I didn't have to worry about anyone like touching it or anything like that. So I'm going to keep this. I think it's fun for some like different drugstore looks, and I do like the colors in here. We have a palette here from Carity. This is the Picante palette. It is really pretty, you guys. Look at those colors. I actually forgot how pretty this one was. I feel like this palette though is like never in stock on their website, but you have some beautiful warm shades, lots of like really nice shimmers. I definitely gravitate more towards like matte shades for some reason. I just love matte, but I do think it is a really fun palette. Okay, it is in stock on their website. It's $29 if you guys want to check it out, but the Carity formula is really good. They're like a fun, affordable brand. I have tons of Alter Ego palettes here. So we have Goddess, Aurora, and Sahara. These are dupe eyeshadow palettes. So this first one I will show you guys. So pretty. I love these colors. I will be honest with you guys, I haven't reached for these too much just because I've been picking up other palettes, but I do really like their formula. It is very blendable. I used to do videos on their dupes all the time. And then this is the Goddess palette, which is a Natasha Denona dupe, and this is perfect for those of us who don't really want to shell out the crazy price tag for Natasha Denona's eyeshadow palette. Really unique, fun color scheme. Definitely going to keep that one. Now I want to play with that one. This one's a little messy. I have to clean it. The Aurora Palette. This one is also a dupe for Natasha Denona. Just so pretty. Like, look at these yellows, this really fun shimmery purple, and then you have like these deep shades that just remind me of the sunset. Really nice light toned shimmers. So I'm definitely going to keep these because I think they are super versatile, and it's a way for you to try out the Natasha Denona color schemes at an affordable price point, and also a great formula. Really not doing good with the decluttering here. We have Temptress by Alter Ego, which is the same brand as those other palettes. So here is what it looks like. I think this is actually a dupe for the Anastasia Sultry. Yep, it is a dupe for Sultry, which I totally forgot about this. So colors are very, very similar. It's nice to have a dupe to the Anastasia, and I think honestly the formula is so close. It is crazy. So I will keep these just because I like having the dupe on hand, as well as the Anastasia Sultry palette is one of my favorites. You can see I've used up a couple of the shades in here. I love this color Pearl. It is absolutely stunning. Another Alter Ego palette. I love this one. This is a dupe for one of the Huda Beauty palettes. I love the colors in here. I think the shimmers are so fun. And see, this palette is well loved. This is like just my favorite colors right here. Tons of just purples, warm shades. Hi Oliver. Pressed glitters. I don't really use the pressed glitters too much. I do like the chunky kind of glitters in here that became popular. I think it was like last year those became popular by Huda. And I love the matte shades, so definitely keeping this one. Yes, I know it is messy, you guys. I use my palettes a lot. Okay, we have the Zoeva Caramel Melange palette. This one is also really pretty. I got this in BoxyCharm. But, ooh, I kind of feel like, should I declutter this one? I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not going to use this one too much. I have used this before and I like it. Oh, it's so hard. Okay, I'm just going to make the executive decision to declutter this one because I feel like I haven't gotten rid of much in this pile, so I'm going to declutter it. To you guys a little bit before, Huda Beauty Desert Dusk. These palettes are super pricey, so definitely not getting rid of this one. I love the colors in here too. I think they are so fun with the purples, the shimmers. I keep this one, and I love the front packaging with like her eyeshadow and the jewels. I think it's stunning. Two of my favorites, we have the LA Girl Pro Artistry eyeshadow palettes. Oh, I'm actually just realizing these do have names. This one's Artistry, this one's Mastery. This whole time I didn't even realize that. I've talked about these so much. I absolutely love the LA Girl eyeshadow palettes. I did break a couple of these because the shadows are so soft, which is a good thing because they're so soft, but you do end up breaking them if you like drop it. Gorgeous colors. I love the blues, the greens, the brown tones. The shimmers are insane. They are like a wet metallic formula. The greens, oh my goodness, you guys, like you must try out an LA Girl eyeshadow palette. The original one I got, the Pro Mastery palette, so good. This is just lots of like purpley tones in here. Definitely keeping these two. I am so happy I discovered this brand. The last palette in this little collection here are my Urban Decay Naked palettes. So we have Ultraviolet, Honey, Reloaded, and Cherry. Love all of these. Every time I wear this one, you guys always really love it. I don't have shades like this, and I love this shade Lucid. This palette is gorgeous, so definitely keeping that. Honey, I think I use this one probably the least out of these four, but I do think it has like a little place in my heart still. I'm not like the biggest fan of gold shades on me. I don't think it's the most flattering, but I do think it is a good palette. Kind of gives me like retro 70s vibes. And then we have Naked Reloaded, which, oh my goodness, I love this palette so much. This is my favorite eyeshadow shade. If you ask me what's your favorite eyeshadow shade of all time, like for your lid, this color Angel Fire is like, I can't even tell you how much I love it. I always just love the way that it makes my eyes look, and it just brightens up my eyes so much, and I cannot find anything like it. It's one of a kind, and I will be so sad like when I run out of it because it's just the best. I just wet my brush with a little bit of setting spray because it is more of a looser formula. Dip it in there, you guys. It is so pretty. It's like a peachy shimmery color, and I like the squishy packaging. And then I also really, of course, love Naked Cherry. These tones are so pretty. I definitely think that maybe there could have been like a little more red tones in here to go with the whole cherry thing. The shimmer shades, and then I use these a ton as well. So I'm going to end up keeping all 4 of these. I told you guys these are more of like my everyday eyeshadow palettes in my collection that I reach for a ton. I didn't do too well on my declutter. I only got rid of 2, the Pop Beauty and the Zoeva one. So I'll show you guys. We are keeping all of these. So these are all the palettes I'm keeping. It doesn't look as pretty as I originally had it when I first showed you guys all my palettes. Hope you guys liked this part 2 of my eyeshadow palette declutter, and I am going to go ahead and film part 3 after this for you guys. So you will see that soon. I don't want this video to be insanely long, so that's why I'm breaking this up into different parts, and I just think it's more fun that way. It's more of a collection video this time around because I didn't declutter too many, but I hope you guys enjoyed this eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. Let me know in the comments down below if you spotted any favorite eyeshadow palettes here. Love hearing from you guys and chatting with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in part 3. Bye, guys.